What's up guys, my name is Jake and I spent a month testing power banks so you don't have to. Here's 3 important notes about using a power bank with the Legion Go. You want one that can output at least 65 watts. If it can't, then the Legion Go is slowly going to lose charge while it's plugged in. Power bank efficiency is just as important as the actual size in watt hours. If the company is using bad components in their power banks, then you won't even get close to the advertised watt hour capacity. I'll go over a power bank at the end that I had reviewed previously and why you should avoid really cheap power banks with your handhelds. Lastly, look at the watt hours, not the milliamp hours. The problem with using milliamp hours is it will actually change when you change the voltage. So for example, if you're charging at 5 watts versus 65 watts, you actually get very different milliamp hours out of those two things. However, the watt hours isn't going to change, and it actually gives us a really easy way to calculate approximately how much time that battery will last us. A 65 watt hour battery discharging at 65 watts will give you an extra hour of plug-in time, and a 65 watt hour discharging at 5 watts will give you an extra 13 hours of plug-in time. Now I have 5 different power banks here, and I'm also going to include some others that I've tested previously to get a full comparison. First, a quick overview of what we're looking at. Baseus did send me 2 power banks last year, the Blue 65 watt and the Blade 100 watt. I noticed they had the Blade HD, which is the same as the Blade, but condensed into a more compact version that they call the Blade High Density, and they were kind enough to send that out to me as well. I was not paid to include them in this review, and all of the thoughts on the power banks are my own. We also have the Anker 537 65 watt and the UGREEN 145 watt power banks. Every power bank here comes with a carrying pouch except for the Baseus 65 watt. All the pouches are pretty light and they won't protect them from serious damage, but they will protect them from scratching when carrying them around in your bag. These all claim to be able to output at least 65 watts, and I tested each one and they can all do that. They all recharge at 65 watts except for the Anker 537, which recharges at 20 watts. They all roughly experience the same recharge time, which will be a little over an hour, except for the Anker 537, which is gonna be more like 4+ hours. All the Baseus batteries have a screen on them, and they will tell you the percentage remaining, the volts, and the amps being used, which is fun information to have. The UGREEN will give you the remaining battery in percentage, but the Anker only has some dots to estimate what the remaining battery life would be. Each battery was tested with the Legion Go on the custom 30 watt mode. So we're pushing these batteries to the max to make sure that they will be able to keep up. And every battery was run through my MakerLife battery tester, which basically will give us the volts, the amps, and the wattage, and we'll track it over time so that we can see exactly how many watts were output from the battery into the Legion Go. And look at the chart, the UGREEN is looking really solid with a claimed 90 watt hours and measuring 76.1 for an efficiency of 84%. Although the Anker claimed to have an 88.5 watt hour battery, we only measured 68.2, which gave a 77% efficiency. This is comparable to the Baseus 65 watt, which has around 75% efficiency in our out-of-the-box testing, which makes sense as these share a similar price range. Comparing the Blade and the Blade HD, we can see the small form factor does cause a small hit to efficiency, going from 88% to 81%. And finally, taking a look at the other power banks I've tested in the past, the Anker 737 still holds the highest efficiency of any battery I've tested at 89.5%, and the Charmast, which is an awful battery, only has 54% efficiency. And I'm gonna put up a chart now that will show you roughly how much extra time you'll get from these power banks when plugged into the Legion Go, and you can pause the video right now to take a look at those. And these numbers are great to have, but when we compare the pricing of everything, some things definitely stand out. On the budget side of things, my choice is actually still the Baseus 65 watt, which comes in around $50, and it'll even sometimes go on sale below that. I like the Anker 537 at $60. However, the recharging at 20 watts is a real letdown. Real world scenario, if you're in a rush and you need to get some quick charge on the battery bank, it's just going to take too long to get anything valuable out of it. Whereas the Baseus recharging at 65 watts only takes a little over an hour for a full recharge. And the Baseus is quite a bit smaller and will fit better when you're carrying it in your bags. On the premium end of things, we actually have some good variety to recommend. If you want the best, I would highly recommend you check out the Anker 737. Its efficiency is excellent. It can discharge and recharge at up to 140 watts, which is pretty insane. It has a nice looking screen with fun stats on it, and really the only downside is the price. It retails for $150. However, you can find it on sale for, I've seen as low as $90. And I would honestly say if you can get it for under $100, then that would be a pretty good pickup. The UGREEN is another solid battery pack. However, at $90, it just doesn't bring enough to the table for me to recommend it over the Anker 737. Now, if you're looking for a premium battery, but you're looking to spend a little bit less than the top tier category, I really don't think you can go wrong with either the Blade or the Blade HD. Now, these both come in around $70. And while the lower efficiency on the Blade HD is a little bit of a letdown, to me, I would actually take that trade-off of a little bit more portability for a little bit less battery. I do really like the form factor that these things come in, kind of like a pancake. They can fit nicely in your bags in different compartments rather than having like a bulky, chunky thing that you're trying to fit and it's, you know, pushing into other compartments. So yeah, I do really like the form factor on these blades. And finally, don't buy a Charmast or any other cheap battery bank that you're looking for. It's not worth it. The marketing will hype it up and oftentimes they just lie. So yeah, just avoid those. That's all I got for today. I hope this helped you choose a battery bank for your Legion Go. If it did, feel free to drop a like on the video and subscribe for more. Thanks. Peace.